Hello everyone, welcome to Planning with Ida. In today's video, I'm going to share how I use my Hobonichi planner for financial planning and how I have turned it into my personal budget planner. I originally started using Hobonichi in 2024 as my weekly planner for everyday life, and I absolutely loved it. The quality, the paper, the design, everything about it is beautiful. I use it every day and really stayed consistent with it. The only thing for me was that it felt a little small as a full life planner. So in 2025, I decided to continue using it, but this time as a dedicated budget planner. Now, when I say I use it as a budget planner, I don't track every single expense. Most of our finances are already managed online through our bank accounts and applications. So, this is more of the shopping system or supporting system for me. What I really use my Hobonichi for is tracking the things that change month to month or week to week. And I use it for items like Amazon spending, food shopping, gifts, and other variable expenses. And if I know something is coming up, I like to plan it in advance right here. Now, let's move on to 2026. In this section, I can show you how I document my week. So here's where I document my income, like my paydays, and if I have additional income. For example, last week I sold a few items on eBay and I noted exactly when the money came into my account. Then I have a savings section. After I get paid, I move portion into saving and I like to keep track of everything right here. I also practice no spending day, but it's not very in that strict way. For me, no spending doesn't mean zero spending because, of course, some automatic payments still would go through. It just means I avoid any extra or unnecessary purchases like online shopping or additional food spending. Then I have a simple table where I track my variable expenses like food, Amazon purchases, shopping, or things like getting my nails done. These are the categories that tend to change every month. So this page look a little different every week. Now, one of my favorite part of Hobonichi Planner is the pages at the end. These pages are designed for things like favorite list, memories, but I like to use them in more creative and intentional way for my financial planning. For example, I use these sections to track things that I'm working towards, not just what I'm spending. If there's something I want to purchase, especially something more meaningful or more expensive, I like to plan it here first. It helped me slow down and be more intentional with my spending instead of just buying things in the moment. You can also use these pages to create your own list like favorite places, restaurant, or even experiences, and then add notes about how much you spent or how you felt about it. I really like this approach because it turns budgeting into something a little more personal. And honestly, these pages are completely flexible. You can turn them into anything. Financial goals, you can turn them into saving tracker or even just ideas you want to come back to later on. For me, this is where planning become more creative and more enjoyable. And it's what makes me actually want to come back to my planner every day. One of my other feature I love is the yearly overview page where you can track all 365 days. You can use this to mark things like payday, shopping day, or even your travel days, and even color code everything if you would like to. Like, for example, you can use our traveling in blue or all your expenses in red. All right, I also like to use stickers from the Coffee Monster shop, things like payday, budgeting, saving, no spending day, which just makes the whole process a little more fun and more visual. For my larger goals or a bigger purchases, I actually use a separate notebook. This is where I track bigger projects or more expensive items. When I complete something, I check it off and I cross it over. I review this list regularly and it helps me stay very focused. I love the overview of this page. Thank you so much for planning with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would love to have you here. And I'll see you next week with more planning